It's time for this week's UpLift. 3 ordinary guys that want you to find the freedom that is available by knowing our Lord Jesus Christ. So sit back and enjoy UpLift, brought to you by the Fulcrum Center. Visit our site at thefulcrumcenter.org.
So good evening, everybody, and welcome to UpLift, courtesy of the Fulcrum Center. And as you can see, we're missing a couple people here. Ian and Phil are, as you can see, are not here with us tonight. And we promised that this was going to be a special episode, and it's real special because the 2 people who are here are real special in more ways than one. But right. We're here to have a good time and talk about some real stuff tonight. And you know, we were just having conversation here before we start, like we always do, and we were just sharing some stuff together, and it's all good. Like when we get together, it's the 2 Chads. We're both Chads, so it's the Chad and Shad show tonight. A little bit like Mike and Mike on ESPN, but different. But we're both very. We were having some good conversation, and so we decided to turn the camera on and keep it going. So I'm Chad McLeish.
I'm Chad Farmer.
And glad you're joining us here on our UpLift tonight. So we're going to talk tonight a little bit about something that I always see Chad light up about when we talk about his experiences. We're going to talk about serving others and service to others. And we were talking the other day, and he just came back from Florida, and where he was getting the beach service, and
Yeah.
and we were talking about, just, what ideas we had. And I was like, if we don't have anything else, let's talk about service to others, because it's like every time I see you talk about serving others, just your experiences and what you get from it, it really lights you up in the way that you interact with other people and the way that you meet new people and interact with them. And I know that's something that you find very valuable.
Oh, yeah, absolutely, Chad. And yeah, I'm going to apologize now. Like, I have some serious allergy issues going on right now. So if you see me grabbing my old lady napkins here, my allergies, my nose has been running. So I'll apologize in advance for that. But yeah, service to others. I mean, for me, I don't know if there's anything that probably brings me more joy than just, and it could be something as simple as saying a kind word to somebody or helping somebody out, holding the door for somebody. Like, people are really taken back by the gesture most of the time. And other times, maybe not so much, but, and sometimes it's really, the joy that it brings me is so fulfilling.
Mm-hmm.
Without a doubt. Like, I enjoy that. I think I probably get a lot of that from my parents. Like, my parents were both giving kind of people, like always willing to help somebody out. And I think I kind of picked that up from them. And like I said, it just fulfills me for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, it feels good to be humble and just to help other people out. It gives you a good feeling.
Absolutely. Sure it does.
And you're doing what the Lord tells you to do in the Bible. I mean, like Jesus, I mean, he was a servant to all of us, I mean,
without a doubt.
Yeah.
Without a doubt. Yeah, the service to others is, you just don't know what someone else's, the adversity someone else is going through. And I remind myself all the time, and even the food pantry here at the church, where I kind of really started to notice, it's probably been nearly pushing 2 years now. I've been coming down here like once a week and then a couple times in between just delivering food. And I live close and take my truck, pick some stuff up, come down here and just help out. And the relationships that I've formed, the people that I see, the people that I get to talk to,
mm-hmm.
It's great, man. You get to see what's going on in people's lives, and you get to see people grow, and you get to see people understand, and the things that it's done for me personally. Like, early on, it was just a real test of patience, and it continues to be at times. Certain people you just don't really jive with 100%. Like, and there was so many times that I felt like, man, I'm just being judgmental here, and I probably was.
Yeah.
But man, I could just clearly hear the Lord. Like, I know that the Lord was telling me, like, that's why you're here, man. Like, the patience thing is what you need to learn. And each and every time, like, it's not always your way. Like, allow somebody to do things the way they want to do them, and not just kind of take charge. And you know, I would just always kind of decipher ways to make things easier and smoother. But it's not really why I'm here.
Right.
You know, I'm not asked to do that. I'm just asked to serve. Like, stay in your lane kind of thing. So it took me a while to kind of narrow down what exactly my purpose was here. And prayed about it a lot. And it was okay. Like, this process took an hour. And in my mind, I'm like, man, I could really cut this time in half by doing it this way. But that wasn't, you know, that wasn't my lane to stay in.
Right.
So allowing people just to do things the way they want to do them, and, you know, you carry stuff down and stack things up, and, you know, can we move that over here? It's like, it's okay. Like, I've got time, you know.
Right.
God's blessed me with the ability to be able to do it, so okay, not a big deal. You know. Does it get frustrating sometimes? Yeah, it sure does. But like I said, it's just I'm constantly reminded in occasions like that where you kind of get a little irritated. It's just like, this is what I'm here for, man. Like, I can roll with this. This is really not that big of a deal. Just because it's not your way, it didn't go your way. It's okay. At the end of the day, it's fine.
Pretty powerful lesson, isn't it?
Oh,
Moving at the speed of other people, learning that patience from the Lord.
Oh, geez Louise, man. Chad, I'm reminded of it like time after time after time, and each and every time that I feel that, that's the reminder right there. It's like, that's exactly why you are here. Yeah, for sure.
Probably one of the toughest things we deal with in our adult lives is just moving at the pace of other people instead of our pace that we want to move at.
Such a great point. Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, like I mentioned earlier, you have no idea what people are facing. And, you know, you also don't understand how capable they are of processing and dealing with those things. You know how you do it.
Yeah.
You know how the people around you do it. But the people that you don't really know may not have the same abilities to handle it.
Right.
You know, and those are the kind of things that I'm just reminded of. And how can I personally be a help in this situation instead of a hindrance?
Yeah.
Like, there's a whole lot of people that'll cast some shadows on the situation. I mean, that's easy.
Right.
Anybody can do that. How can you be the light? You know, how can you be the light in a situation that is maybe seem dark, or just so many people that kind of cast a shadow on things and look at things in a different way, and condescending, arrogant, whatever. And hey, we can all be that way, but I'm just reminded that when I come down here to do this service, that that's what I'm here for.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You had to be lights.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Like, yeah, I want people to come to me. Like, that's what fulfills me. That's what drives me. Like, you know, I'm not going to make, like, you know, Phil and Ian, you know, those guys, big shoes to fill here today.
Yeah.
You know, I feel like I need to sit in both seats. I could never fill their shoes. Them guys are great.
Yeah.
But, you know, you talk, and being around guys like that, they are such great examples of just what we're talking about,
Right.
the lights. You know, people want to talk to them. You know, Phil, I haven't seen him, like, he's been around here more lately as he's been in his transition period. And Ian, man, these people flock to him.
Right.
They want to talk to him. Like, they want to bounce things off of him.
Right.
They want his perspective. And that's what he's called to do.
Right.
You know? And it's so great and so unique to see, for me, to be able to sit back and watch those things occur. I'm like, yeah, man, I want some of that too. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no doubt. I've learned a lot from both of them. You know, just them serving others, you know, serving me with just, you know, conversations, talking through things, sharing life experiences, you know, Just very valuable. And, the Lord blesses us with these things.
Oh, for sure.
And we take, in so many times, we take things for granted. Just a simple conversation with somebody, or when other people serve us, like let's say you're at the grocery store and you got your hands full and somebody holds the door open for you. Just something as simple as that.
It's that simple, man.
Yeah.
Just a kind gesture.
Mm-hmm.
Just to think about somebody else. Just really that simple. And it was funny, we were talking about this, it just come to mind, like yesterday we was down here, and there's a girl that's kind of been around here, and I wouldn't say she's new, but she was kind of struggling with the whole patience thing. Mm-hmm. And I'm just like, hey, like, this is a great place to work on your patience.
Yeah.
And I tell her it's kind of the same stories that we're talking about, and she was just like, it really clicked and resonated with her. Mm-hmm. Like, okay. Mm-hmm. Like, that is why I'm here.
Right.
So being able to take my experience, kind of pass that along, like, this is why you're here. Mm-hmm. Like, embrace it.
Right.
Like, embrace that. Mm-hmm. Like, that's what you're doing here.
Right. Mm-hmm.
So to watch that and to be able to allow myself to be used in such a way to pass that along, mm-hmm. that's what we're called to do.
Right.
Yeah, that's what we're called to do. So that always feels good. Mm-hmm. And of course, being surrounded by just good people, and there's just a great core group of help that comes down here that is in so many shapes and forms, mm-hmm. That range from ages and backgrounds, and with just the purpose of serving. It's just people that come down to the food pantry. I don't know how you could walk out of here not feeling blessed. Mm-hmm. It's just a great experience.
Yeah.
To mm-hmm. be able to help. And the people that run it and put in a lot of time and effort to making sure it everything's oiled and greased, mm-hmm. the behind the scenes kind of stuff. Hats off to those people.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It's they don't do it for any accolades or pats on the back. Like, they do it out of service to the Lord and to people. Mm-hmm. It's great. It's awesome.
Yeah, it's so Chad serves at the food pantry here, and it's been a powerful thing in this church for a long time, and by a long time, I'm going to say 15 years, but I could be off on that. I don't know the exact numbers, but that sounds pretty close to me. But it's been a powerful thing. They've served a lot of people, and Chad's been fortunate enough to be a part of that and be a big help. But great group of people, been doing it for quite a while. And one comment you said earlier is that it's expanding the amount of people who help do like the produce distribution and all that. The amount of helpers is growing.
Oh, yeah, like people that, it's fascinating because, people that are kind of down on their luck, especially through like the pandemic and things like that, like the people that were coming down here to get, that needed some food, that needed some help, are now the same people that are helping.
Right.
So it just goes to show you, like, people feel welcomed here. Mm-hmm. Like, hey, I needed this that appeared in my life. Like, I want some of that. Like, mm-hmm. I want to serve.
Yeah.
That's the remarkable thing. It's not just one or two. Like, there's several people that were coming in here and going through and getting some items that they needed to help them out. And now they're the people kind of walking through and ministering to people that are in the same boat as they once were. Mm-hmm. It's great, man. Mm-hmm. It's great. Like, how could that not bring you joy to sit back and get to watch mm-hmm. that unfold?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and the best part that I love about it is that it shows that not all church happens on Sunday morning.
Oh, man, that's such a great point.
Mm-hmm.
Jeez Louise, man, we could spin this service thing in a whole nother direction with that statement alone, but yeah, ministry is like every day.
Yeah.
Like, look for the opportunities to be able to minister. Mm-hmm. it comes in such, and once your eyes are open to it, it's everywhere. It's everywhere you go. Take advantage of those opportunities, and no, you're absolutely right that it's just not on Sundays. Yeah, I mean, true ministry is just a lifestyle. It's not a day of the week.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a lifestyle for sure.
I remember you guys were telling the story about, there's a lady that's been here forever. I mean, she's been here since she was a kid, and she's in her 70s. And how she ministers to people and talks to people when they come in. And yeah.
Oh man, yeah, I know exactly who you're talking about, and I know we don't want to mention names on here, but man, and I got to meet her down here, and what a special soul she is. At first, I didn't know who she was, didn't know much about her, just through general conversation, got to know her. It's to the point now where we text each other from time to time, like check in on her when she's visiting family and things like that. But yeah, to watch her minister just out of kindness, like that's it. She's just kind.
Yeah.
And people love her. She's extremely smart. She's extremely insightful, thoughtful. She's lived a lot of life and had a lot of experience. I love her dearly. Yeah, she's a great example of why I enjoy and look forward to coming down here.
Right.
Whereas, initially it kind of felt like, what did I sign myself up for here?
Right.
Like, what did I commit to? Like, yeah, I'll go do this one time. And to be honest with you, I don't even know how it started.
Yeah.
I think it was like, we need somebody. The guy that was delivering had kind of fell ill like a couple of times and had doctor's appointment here or whatever and couldn't do it. It was like, hey, Chad. And I'm like, yeah, man, I'll do it. And then the guy just kind of, I just kind of transitioned into that role, and it was okay. Like, I don't even know how it happened, but I just explained how it happened, but
Right.
It wasn't planned. It was just led. And there were times. There was a period of time, a season, where I was just like, man, what am I doing here? Like, what did I get myself into here? And it was just such a selfish way of thinking. And once I just really kind of prayed about it and how it was affecting me, and the Lord had revealed to me why I was here, man, just the things that have branched out as a result of just allowing myself, the Lord to lead me and to reveal to me exactly why I was here. Man, it's been remarkable. Just like we're talking about, people like that. So many stories like that. That's just one great example of, it's funny. And she's always up, doing her thing on the computer and signing people in and talking. And as I bring this stuff in, we get it unloaded. I always make it a point. I always think about her, because she's kind of removed from the rest of the hustle and bustle. She's up there doing her thing, and I always kind of peek my head around and say hello, ask her how she's doing, and sometimes I give her a hug. You need a cup of coffee, whatever, and she's always good, man. She's just great, and yeah, that brings great joy to my heart to bring that up, Chad. But yeah, it's just another example of why I enjoy serving. Right there, for sure. Yeah, it brings me great joy.
Yeah, because we're called to do that. We're called to work with people and help people, and in all sorts of ways. 7 days a week. And that's one thing we talk about a lot on this program, Uplift, is just that church doesn't just happen between the hours of 9 and 11 on Sunday morning, or 10 and 12, or whatever your church service is. That's not what this is about. This is about a lifestyle. This is about just life experience and meeting people where they are, using Aeneanism. I'm always at work, so I don't get to come down to the food pantry and serve. But one way I always loved to serve was I'll be an usher on Sunday morning, and just to me, that's my way of trying to give back to the congregation, or try to pitch in and help the pastor or whatever. I always like to serve kind of like the congregation in that way, just to kind of, be present and help that way. That's always been, for whatever reason, my calling. Is I've done it for a long time, and just to kind of, be a presence, to greet people in the morning and say hi and have a little conversation before and after the service and stuff like that. That's always been one of the ways that I like to do it. And it's funny because Ian and I had this thing where we'd always make faces at each other and smile and stuff as I was bringing the offering down the aisle to him. That was always a kind of our thing, and we had a lot of joy doing it. We both enjoyed, because it was like I was trying to bring a smile to his face, as he was getting ready to deliver his message for the service, and I was just always had joy feeling like I was serving him and Phil and whoever our pastor is.
Well, and I'm sure it's appreciated, Chad. And yeah, I think that's it, man. I think the lesson in that is just finding a way to contribute, whatever that may be.
Right.
By being an usher, by being whatever, and also like you're talking about, going down there and kind of just a wink and a smile, and just that reassurance that, like, hey man, I'm with you. We're in this together. Like, there's so much power in that that it's just unforeseen. But it's just reassurance and the faith. Like, hey man, we're in this together, and finding that where your niche is, and just being able to step outside of your comfort zone sometimes. I think that's so important. I mean, that's one thing also that my wife talks about a lot, and she's such a great example of that. Like, she wears so many different hats and does so many different things and talks to so many different people. Her mom, my mother-in-law, is like that, like one of the most compassionate people that I've ever met. Like, just gives. Like, and no one knows how much, like, I mean, the things that she does, she's in her 70s now, and no offense to 70-year-olds, but man, like, I can't keep up with her, dude.
Right.
Like, she's just like on it, man.
Yeah.
Like, we've got a couple of women in our church that just, man, I'm a big dude. Like, they drag me around. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's hard. They're hard to keep up with.
Yeah.
And it's all out of love for the Lord and service. Yeah. Like, it fuels them so much, and it's so remarkable to get to be to have a front row seat to watching it. And I like to jump aboard when I can. But they wear me out, brother. They wear me out. Like, I have to get off that train for a little while, take a break. Like, I'm coming over here for some water, man.
Yeah.
These ladies are like filled with the Spirit, like they're moving, and it's so incredible to get to see them. It's so nice to be a part of. It's just great, man. I feel blessed to be a part of that.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yep.
Yeah, absolutely. Just contribute. Just contribute. Find your niche, man.
One of my favorite memories of us two doing something together was washing dishes together. Remember that day?
Yeah, I do.
There was a men's retreat thing that we did at his church, and we were cleaning everything up, and we were cleaning up, and there was all these dishes to be done, and we just jumped in and started doing dishes together, and it was funny because here's us two. And we're just washing dishes together.
Well, hey, I have to say, man, I don't mean to cut you off here, brother, but I just don't remember it that way. It was like more like you were doing the dishes, and I was kind of you had the dishpan hands, and I'm the guy bringing them into you as you finish up, dry your hands off, and I'm the one stacking 3 or 4 more on. But yeah, that's one way that I like to contribute in a lot of ways too, like at dinners and whatnot. Is just, man, what a kind gesture! Just wash some dishes.
Yeah.
Like, I don't mind. Like, who can't do that?
Right.
Like, clean them up a little bit. But, yeah, it was so appreciated. And that was one thing that I can even look back. And I can remember exactly the situation that you're talking about. And I'm like, man, how I was really just taken back. Like, I appreciated that so much. Like, people coming together and doing those things. Contributing.
It's little
just
things.
That simple. Yes.
It's little things.
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, man, can I take the trash out? Hey, what can I do to help out? And some people just kind of, and I was one of those guys at one point. Man, I'll take care of it. I got it.
Yeah.
Like, allow people to help.
Yeah.
Like, that's what they want to do.
Right. Yeah, it's showing appreciation.
Absolutely.
It's showing appreciation
Yes.
to your host that's doing things, and it's showing appreciation to the Lord because we were blessed that day with what we received
Oh, for
in that
sure.
in that
Yes.
in that retreat. So it's like, yeah, it's just like yeah, this is what it takes to put on something like this.
Yeah.
You got pastors, you got people organizing it, you got people working. Like you were doing a bunch of stuff, carrying stuff and making breakfast for the guys, and the pastor was there all day, busy all day,
Yeah.
delivering a message and all that sort of thing. And another thing about that day too, as far as service, was what you kind of told your life story
Oh, yeah.
and let it,
Yeah.
and you really let it go, and that was a service to all the guys that were there because you know Chad's history is, he's got a lot of history, and he served in our armed forces and told some of his story about his life, most of his story about his life, and that was such a service. So telling your story, giving your testimony, no matter how little or insignificant you may feel it is, or whatever your situation is, sharing that with others, they may glean something from that. So I know there that day, a lot of men gleaned something, a lot of things sometimes, from what you talked about, and it's so you can serve other people by giving your testimony, uh, doing all kinds of different things for people and with people. There's so many ways to serve.
Yeah, Chad, and getting back to that testimony thing, man, that was just so powerful for me, and I felt called and led to do that early on, like when the early stages of that whole men's retreat had even come about, and we was having meetings about it, and Ian had mentioned, like, hey, man, we'll leave some time here throughout the course of the day for like a testimony, and man, like immediately, I was just like I just felt the Lord say, "That's you, man. Like
Yeah.
that's your slot."
Yeah.
And I was like, "Oh man!" And I didn't commit to anything. Like I just really wanted to sit back and reflect on it and hope that it would those feelings would go away, but they didn't. And I knew that it was my deal, and I didn't know how it was going to go, and I just really felt led to just kind of go bare all kind of thing and just allow myself to be vulnerable. And that was the one thing that was difficult to do, but man, I cannot tell you how relieving it was. It was like hitting the pressure valve. There was just a lot of things that have occurred in my life, and so many things that have been self-inflicted, and just living a life without the Lord in it, and just kind of doing things my own way and plowing through the field, so to speak. And that it was just powerful, and just being able to contribute, just to contribute in some way. I kind of felt bad. I felt like I took up all of Ian's hard work, like he had planned all this stuff out, and I kind of got up there in this 10 or 15 minute slot and it seemed like I talked for 4 hours, but in a sense, Ian was great about it. He's like, hey man, if that's what you felt led to do, like, hey.
Well, yeah, I mean, you could have heard a pin drop, and I think it was something like 45 minutes to an hour. I don't remember the exact time frame, but I mean, so many people got something from it. And just lately I've been like watching. There's a pastor, Andrew Womack. He was a chaplain in the Vietnam War. He was an army chaplain, and now he's a pastor, and you can watch his stuff all over YouTube and TV and everything. But just he lets a lot of people tell their testimonies, and he's a beautiful servant anyway, just in what he tells people the truth about the Lord and the Bible and the Word and everything else. But just he lets people give their testimonies. It's a beautiful thing to watch, and I've gotten so much from it lately. These people are serving other people. They're ministering to other people they'll never even meet, because this is just recorded things that they've recorded and play, and you can go back and watch it, and from 10, 15, 20 years ago, some of these people are doing that. So it's just, you don't know what impact you're going to have on other people.
Oh, that's it right there. And I think that's such a great lesson in the fact that you just don't know how therapeutic it is to give someone the opportunity to just kind of express their emotions, express their feelings, and just kind of let things flow.
Yeah.
How satisfying it is at the end of the day, and how inspiring it is for other people. And just like you said, people take tidbits of your story and use that as relatable, and it's something to build upon.
Right.
It inspires people. Yeah, in some way, shape, or form. Even just, hey man, I appreciate the fact that you allowed yourself to do that.
Yeah.
Like a lot of people say, man, I could never get up here and do what you did. Well, sure you can.
Right. In your
Why
time.
can't you?
Right, when you're called.
Yeah,
Yeah, when
right.
it's your call.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
Well, yeah, that's one thing we always talk about, two of us together. We like real stuff. We like to hear real people. We want to hear real things and real life stories. And that's what is motivating to so many people, just to hear that reality. You're not being preached at, nothing against pastors and preachers, but just to hear other people, their story is just so powerful.
Oh, it is powerful. Yeah. For sure. And we was talking about before, I think you hit the record button, about just kind of the politics and how you want to be viewed, and falling within certain margins for a position or title that you hold. Just people like real, man. Like, people want real stuff.
Yeah.
Like relatable, real stuff, not this kind of like watered down version of how you want to be viewed. And we talked about earlier, like, just being like, I want to be viewed as a real dude. Like, I've had bad experiences in my life. I've done stupid things. I'm not proud of those things, but they indeed happened. I made these poor choices, and I'm a better man for them today. Like, I'm real. I'm real. I've done a bunch of dumb stuff, and probably will continue to from time to time. But I try to be a little bit more cautious about how I do things, and do a lot better job today of allowing the Lord to kind of guide me along in things, and instead of just trying to do things my own way. But yeah, just be real, man. Just be real. People appreciate that.
Yep. And make yourself available to talk to people. We
Yes.
talked about it. Both of us have talked about instances at work or out, whatever, where people come and talk to us about things that are bothering them and troubling them, and and we've done that too. We've talked to people that, friends or acquaintances that, when we're falling on tough times and you just need something to, someone to reach out to, and that's important too in this world. Like. We want to always talk to the Lord and give our prayers up to the Lord, but it's also good to have conversations with people that at our level too, just to kind of connect with people.
Well, and I think when to connect with people, and that's it, Chad. Like, there's so many different perspectives out there, and like, I have kids, and they're growing, and man, that they heard the old saying, like, they don't come with manuals, and man, they sure don't.
Right.
And they're all different, and just gaining perspectives. You're an example of that. Like, like all people in my life, like, I'm like, man, I could ask Chad about that. I'm trying to gain a better insight on this, and he may be the guy that could help me with that, or this person, or that person, or and people are willing to do that. Like, yeah, I got some experience in that, or it just from general, just observation, or maybe them sharing different stories about their life or their journey. There's always somebody out there that can kind of give you a plug,
right?
Something to build upon.
Yeah.
There's just, that's so great about fellowship, and why it's so important, at least to me.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, fellowship's so important. Like, you hear people say, man, I don't have to go to church on Sunday to love the Lord. No, you don't. But man, does it help?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You want to connect.
Yeah, I think that's the important thing too. And people kind of use, the pandemic thing is kind of over, and people are still kind of in that mode where they just become comfortable from Well, yeah, I watched a sermon here on my couch in my pajamas on Sunday, but get out there and connect with people.
Yeah.
Share.
Mm-hmm.
Sharing the love, man. You got to feel it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, just feel it, and that's important.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's real important. Like, I told my wife before, like when we started going to church together, I'm not here for you. Like I'm here for my relationship with the Lord. You're just a perk, man. It's like you're a perk in this journey.
Yeah.
Right now. You know what I'm saying? And people were a perk to that. Like ultimately, yeah, I'm there to learn something and feed my spirit and my soul with what's being said. But the fellowship that you get on all the people that are there, man, it's just pretty powerful.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for sure.
And for people that don't know, Chad's wife's the pastor.
She is. Yeah. So, it's just so funny to say that too. Like I never thought in my journey of life and the things that I've done and been through, like I would ever say those words like, yeah, I'm married to a pastor, but yeah.
Right.
Yeah, it's awesome. I tell her I'm going to write a book one day, like the pastor's husband.
I'd read it.
Yeah,
I'd like to read the first
it'd be fascinating. I told her that the only page I've got written is the forward, like the greatest human I know and the most annoying. She's great, man. I love her, man. Like I wouldn't be here without her. Like the things that she's kind of been an example and led me to do. I could never thank her enough, man. She's such a powerful person and just awesome to watch. She's such a great example of faith.
Yeah.
Allowing faith to lead her.
Yeah.
I think she's crazy sometimes. Like I'm such a realist. I think the contrast, like I tell her she lives in the land of butterflies and rainbows. And she kind of does. Yeah. And I'm the guy that's kind of like trying to reel her in a little bit. But it works, man. It works. Like I'm just a realist and she's kind of a dreamer. And we're working our way through life. And it's been a busy, fulfilling journey. Mm-hmm. Yes, and I can't wait to see what's in store for the future. I don't really know. Like we got a lot of irons in the fire, and hey man, let the Lord lead. Like let's do it. Life is short. Like let's roll.
Yeah.
It's not easy though. You know, people think it's an easy journey, but it's so fulfilling.
Right.
Like if you don't challenge yourself and it's boring. I mean, I don't know. Like do people really want boring and easy? Yeah, there are times I want some boring,
right.
But not all the time.
Right.
Yeah, I'm not ready to lay down. You know?
Got some energy. You got some fire in you.
Well, I like to think I do anyway, man. I mean, I got a few more pounds on me than I used to, but I can still carry the mail.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
For sure.
So we ran over a little bit tonight, and that's okay. I don't think Phil will smack us around too much. I don't think they will. But we hope you enjoyed our conversation tonight. It was open. It was raw. It was real. None of this is scripted. There's no cue cards anywhere. We just talk about what's on our heart, and it was a good conversation. We told you all it was going to be special, and I think it was. A little bit different, had a different flavor than what we normally do, and that's good. That's okay. So next week, I imagine Ian and Phil will be back, but they're in transitions. If you don't know, Phil is moving back into a full-time pastor role here at this church, and Ian is transitioning out of the full-time pastor role at this church. Well, I shouldn't say full-time, but Phil is transitioning in as pastor. Ian is transitioning out as pastor. So they're both taking the week off in the midst of all that, and that's why you got us two smiling Chads here.
That's
and
right.
Hope you enjoyed it, and give us some feedback. If you want to hear some more of Chad Farmer, I'd be all in favor.
Be careful what you wish for, guys.
That's all right. Bringing the real and raw.
Yeah, the ratings will plummet after that.
I'm bringing the real and raw, man. That's what it's all about.
That is what it's about.
And sharing what the Lord puts on our hearts. But we thank you for watching and listening. And Yeah, it's been fun, and
Yeah,
Chad,
it's
I'm
been fun.
super glad you were here. We had a good time. We always have a good time talking and catching up. So
Yeah, I enjoy it, man. Like any time, like if guys want to take another, I'll be glad to come back, man.
that's awesome.
Yeah, for
it's
sure.
it's a cool experience.
It
So
is.
yeah. Well, have a good night, and we'll catch you next week.
Right.